Hey guys, I hope you've had a fantastic day. Last time we read, we didn't get to finish chapter 6. The video cut me off with just a few pages left. So tonight I'm going to finish chapter 6 and then we'll start chapter 7 tomorrow. So let's finish chapter 6 and I'll post some activities and some questions you can answer for chapter 6 so that way we can move on tomorrow with a fresh chapter. So if you remember correctly, Connor and Alex are in the book and they're traveling through the forest and they're going to find the things they need for the wishing spell. And Alex is so excited to be in a fairy tale and Connor isn't as excited. And they were going along and they ran into somebody and we don't know who that person is yet, but we're about to find out. Some of you have some really good guesses as to who it is. One person guessed that it was Little Red Riding Hood. One person guessed that it was Snow White. So let's figure out who this mysterious person is. She was young and beautiful. Her eyes were big and blue, and her hair was half up and flowed into long golden curls. She wore a long maroon knit coat and black leggings and very tall boots. The woman and her horse moved covertly into the center of the clearing. "Easy, Porridge," said the woman, stroking the horse. "That's a good girl, nice and slow." She hopped down from the horse and made her way to a tree. Alex could see that some sort of paper was pinned to it, and after taking a closer look, she saw it was the wanted poster for Goldilocks that she had seen the day before. The woman shook her head after reading it. She ripped it off the tree and crumpled it up. "Who is that? What is she doing?" Connor whispered to his sister. "Do I look psychic to you?" Alex whispered back at him. Suddenly, the woman's head jerked in their direction. Whoever she was, she had a remarkable sense of hearing. She drew a large sword from inside her coat and raised it high in the air. Her gaze was stern and determined. She was obviously someone to be reckoned with. She stepped closer to where Alex and Connor were hiding. A piercing wolf howl boomed through the forest. It was so loud that Alex and Connor covered their ears. The woman spun around and pointed her sword in the opposite direction of the twins. "Porridge, get ready. We're about to have company," she said. "Who?" Alex and Connor mouthed to each other. Creeping through the trees toward them were half a dozen wolves. However, these wolves were unlike any the twins had ever seen before. They were 4 times the size of any normal wolf of their world. Their fur was jet black and matted. Their eyes were red and their snouts were wide. These wolves were ready to kill at any minute. Without a doubt, the twins had come face to face with the big, bad wolf pack. Alex and Connor held on to each other, shaking with fear. The woman in the maroon coat never showed a hint of panic. She pointed her sword at the largest of the wolves standing in the middle of the pack. The wolves growled and gritted their teeth. "Hello, Malamaclaw," the woman said. "Hello, Goldilocks," Malamaclaw growled. The twins were both in silent hysterics. That means they were really, really scared. "Goldilocks, that's Goldilocks," Alex mouthed to Connor. "The wolf talks, it talks," he mouthed back to her. "I'm surprised you're not chained down in some Red Riding Hood Kingdom jail cell yet," Malamaclaw said to Goldilocks. "I'm surprised you haven't turned into a rug for a child's nursery yet," Goldilocks said. "What brings you to this part of the forest? There isn't an innocent village for your pack to torment for miles." Goldilocks never lowered her sword. The other wolves in Malamaclaw's pack slowly surrounded her and Porridge. "My pack is hungry. We've stopped for an afternoon snack," the wolf said. "Have you really come to eat me?" Goldilocks said. "I thought you'd have learned your lesson by now. I bite back." She gripped her sword even tighter. Malamaclaw laughed. "The wolf can laugh. It can laugh," Connor mouthed to Alex. "You are far too small in portion," Malamaclaw told her with an evil wolfish grin. "Your horse, however, has plenty to go around." Alex and Connor had never seen a horse look as frightened as Porridge did. Had she not been so light-colored, they would have sworn she had gone pale. "If you so much as scratch her, I will wear you as a coat. Do you understand me?" Goldilocks warned him. "All people do in this world is eat one another," Connor whispered to Alex. And as soon as he did, he knew he shouldn't have. A wolf turned in the twins' direction. "Malak-macaw, I think I just heard something," it growled. Alex covered her mouth so as not to scream. The wolf began sniffing vigorously in the air. "I smell 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl." Goldilocks seemed as surprised as the rest of the wolves to learn this. So that was who she had heard behind her moments before. The twins could hear their own heartbeats. What was going to happen next? Was Goldilocks going to rat them out to save her horse? Had they just narrowly escaped being devoured by a witch only to be eaten by a pack of overgrown wolves? "I'm afraid you just missed them," Goldilocks said. "I frightened them away just like I frightened you the last time our paths crossed." "Then horse it is," Malak-macaw declared. All the wolves howled together. It was deafening. They began circling Goldilocks and Porridge, getting closer and closer. The wolves snapped at them with their enormous jaws, and Goldilocks swung her sword at them. One wolf tried to pounce on Porridge, but the horse kicked him away with her hind legs. Another wolf tried to bite Goldilocks, but she struck him with her sword, drawing blood, and he whimpered away. Goldilocks was the best swordswoman the twins had ever seen. Any time one of the wolves got so much as a claw closer to her horse, she was quick to shield them. Porridge wasn't so bad herself. She wasn't shy about kicking away any wolf that was too close for comfort. A wolf leaped and sank its claws into Porridge's back. The horse bucked to free herself. In one quick slice, Goldilocks chopped one of the wolf's paws off. He limped into the forest, howling in pain. 2 wolves teamed up on Goldilocks. One leaped toward her, and she tripped over the other one. Her sword flew into the air and landed close to where the twins were hiding. Goldilocks was on the ground, unarmed. That means she didn't have a weapon. The wolves were closing in on her, and the horse going in for the kill. "Catch!" Connor yelled and tossed the sword straight to her. Goldilocks swung it hard at the wolves closing in on her, leaving large gashes on their muzzles. "Retreat!" Malak-macaw ordered his pack. "No snack is worth all this trouble." The wolves stampeded into the forest, growling and howling in anger, letting the rest of the forest know they were on their way. "Until we meet again, Goldilocks," Malak-macaw called out as he disappeared into the trees with the rest of the wolves. Goldilocks got to her feet and put her sword away. She was out of breath and now that the enemy had left, much more vulnerable than she had shown in combat. She petted Porridge's nose and dabbed the horse's wound with the fabric of her coat. "Good girl, Porridge," Goldilocks said. She turned and faced the fallen tree Alex and Connor were hiding behind. "You can come out now," Goldilocks said. The twins were hesitant at first. Then Connor popped up and exclaimed, "That was awesome!" "Connor," Alex said, popping up beside him. "That was one heck of a fight," Connor continued. "You know, at first I really thought they had you. I never expected a girl and her horse could be any match for 6 hungry wolves, but you impressed me. Where did you learn to fight like that?" Goldilocks was not amused by his enthusiasm. "When you've been on the run as long as I have, you pick up a few tricks here and there." She turned around and remounted her horse with a jump. "So is it really you?" Alex asked. "Are you really Goldilocks? The woman wanted dead or alive for all her crimes?" "Don't believe everything you read," she said sternly, and then pulled on Porridge's reins and galloped away. But she only traveled a few feet before she steered Porridge back to the twins. "Thank you for your assistance," Goldilocks said. Connor nodded. "Here, take this in case you need it." Goldilocks reached into the side of her boot and pulled out a silver dagger. She tossed it on the ground. "Now, get as far away from here as possible. Those wolves will be back sooner than you expect." And with that, Goldilocks and Porridge galloped off into the forest. Alex and Connor stood motionless, watching her ride off out of sight. "That was amazing," Connor said. He retrieved the dagger from the ground and put it inside their satchel. As terrifying as that was, it was kind of nice to see another human for a change. "We'd better get out of here," Alex said. "And this time we aren't stopping until we know we're out of dwarf forests." Connor couldn't agree more. The twins continued down the dirt path, running this time. They had experienced more danger today than they had ever experienced in their entire lives. Unfortunately for them, it wouldn't be their last encounter with Goldilocks, the big bad wolf pack, or the dwarf forests. And that is the end of chapter 6. Sorry it was kind of shorter, but I hope you enjoyed the end of chapter 6, and I hope you're even more excited for chapter 7 now. And chapter 7 is called Rapunzel's Tower, and that's the picture. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in chapter 7. I'm guessing that we might get to meet Rapunzel, and that the twins might just run into her. With all of that being said, be looking for the next video tomorrow. There are activities, there are questions in the comments that you can answer about this chapter in order to process it and in order to get ready for our next chapter. If you'd like to do those, you can do them tonight, do them in the morning, whatever you think. Anyway, I hope that you have a great rest of your evening, and I can't wait to read with you tomorrow. Bye.